Thank you, Father Bauer, Father Becker, Father Gitter, any honored guests, and my brothers. Since I was the last third-year man to share my vocation story last year, I felt that it would only be fitting for me to be the last one to share my priest hero talk. So here I am, yet again, the last one. In addition to that, since Ryan stole my priest hero, I had to completely scrap my 15-page, 30-minute-long talk and begin anew. In all seriousness, brothers, it took a lot of prayer and reflection to determine exactly who my priest hero is. After a while, I came to the conclusion that it would be none other than the 19th century Redemptorist priest. His name is Blessed Francis Xavier Seelos. He was born in Bavaria in 1819, and growing up, he felt a lifelong call to the priesthood and decided to follow this calling. He entered diocesan seminary and completed his philosophical studies before he heard another call. So in 1842, he became a Redemptorist in order to follow this calling. Next, after this, he felt God begin to pull his heart to ministering to German immigrants in the United States. It was not long after this calling that he left Germany. See, Blessed Seelos displayed a deep trust in doing this action. He was so sure of what God wanted him to do that he left Germany without even notifying his family of his decision. As you might imagine, this was not easy for him to do, yet it was absolutely necessary. He realized that if he had consulted his parents, that they would have most certainly discouraged this calling and would have persuaded him to remain in Germany. After several years of formation and theological studies in France, Seelos was sent to the United States, where he was ordained a priest on December 22nd, 1844, in Baltimore, Maryland. After some time, Seelos found himself in Pittsburgh at a parish, serving as the associate pastor under St. John Neumann. His experience would prove to be a major part of his life, because he and St. John became very close friends. After several years of service in a variety of different roles, including superior of the order as well as director of the novices, he was approached with another opportunity, another role. He was offered the episcopate vacancy in Pittsburgh in 1860. This came with the encouragement of his friend St. John Neumann and the desires of Pope Pius IX. However, Seelos knew that God wanted him elsewhere. He refused the episcopacy and continued to minister to German immigrants throughout the North and the Eastern United States. This would take him from Illinois to New York, Connecticut, and really everywhere in between. This portion of his ministerial life lasted until 1866. The next step would prove to be his last. After feeling yet another call, Seelos knew that he needed to go to New Orleans. At the time, there was a serious yellow fever outbreak that was ravaging the area. Blessed Seelos knew that God wanted him there to minister to those that would eventually succumb to the illness. When he began to make his desire known to his successors, he was met with skepticism and in some cases resistance. Even his friend St. John Neumann attempted to dissuade him from this decision. St. John told him that if he was to go to New Orleans, he would be dead very soon. But without missing a beat, Blessed Seelos responded, telling his friend that he would be dead within a year. So in 1866, he moved on to his last assignment. He was pastor of St. Mary of the Assumption. Really, it's a beautiful church. During his time in New Orleans, the people of the South quickly fell in love with him. He was joyous and very loving to those who had no love from other people. His ministry was dominated by caring for the sick and the abandoned. He would frequently sleep on the bench behind his rectory, dressed in his alb and his stole, because he knew that the severity of the illness meant that he would be needed at any moment of the night, and frequently he was woken up in order to bring the sacraments to people as they were entering into the next life. And true to his word, Blessed Seelos contracted yellow fever within a year of being in New Orleans. The illness proved to be fatal, and on October 4th, 1867, Blessed Seelos was welcomed into paradise. The otherwise little-known Silos was never forgotten by the people of New Orleans. His following never faded, but only proved to grow stronger and stronger. This culminated in his beatification on April 9th in the year 2000. There are a variety of things that I could choose to recognize Blessed Silos for as my priest hero. However, everything fell short, save one prominent theme that was played out in a number of ways throughout his life. As I have mentioned several times already, Blessed Silos was always prepared to follow whatever he thought God wanted him to do. He left his family as a young man to move to the United States. Then he refused the episcopacy because he knew that God wanted him elsewhere. Finally, this willingness to follow God led him to his eventual death. Blessed Silos is an inspiration to me because he refused to keep himself from God. In light of everything that this man did, it is clear that he was always seeking the will of the Father. Never once did he refuse God. Blessed Silos' deep trust is what spoke to me the most about his life. He did not refuse when God asked him to go to the United States, nor did he refuse when when he was asked to be a bishop, and he certainly didn't refuse when he was asked to go to New Orleans. My brothers, Blessed Silos is my priest hero because he never once refused to give God everything. He was always willing to sacrifice his will for the sake of the Father's. Praise be Jesus Christ.